All rise.
All right, thank you. May be seated. All right, so we're here this afternoon, case number 692604, State of Ohio versus Bionca Ellis. Good afternoon, Ms. Ellis. We're here this afternoon with both counsel, Mr. Mack and Mr. Johnson, our Assistant County Prosecutor, Mr. Fralia, is present in the courtroom as well. The court was notified from North Coast Behavioral Health Care with a report dated February 3rd that in fact Ms. Ellis was at this time able to aid her counsel in the ability of moving forward with the trial. That in fact Ms. Ellis could understand the nature and objectives of these proceedings that she faced. She has the capacity to now assist Mr. Mack and Mr. Johnson in her defense, and it is the opinion with reasonable medical certainty that Ms. Ellis has been stabilized and now currently able to move forward with the objectives of moving this case into a jury or a trial status. And so at this time, I'll ask that report has been shared with counsel for the state of Ohio as well as with counsel for Ms. Ellis. And so Mr. Mack or Mr. Johnson, do you stipulate to the report that was provided to the court that we shared with you dated February 3rd of 2025?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Ms. Raleigh, on behalf of the state of Ohio, do you stipulate to that report?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, very good. Ms. Ellis, at this time, as the hope would be with this case, in any case that I have an opportunity to set what I call trial date certainty. In setting a trial date, it gives all the parties the opportunity to prepare for trial if that's the next phase that we need to get to. I always say to the individual who's sitting in my courtroom that you have the ability to discuss this case with your lawyers. They have the ability to discuss this case with the state of Ohio. I do not become involved in any of those discussions. My job is to get you to a jury trial if that's how you want to proceed, and I will protect your constitutional rights that way as a judge. If in fact the lawyers and you and the parties do have a resolve of this matter, of course my job as the judge then is to take a knowing and intelligent change of plea and to handle the sentencing of this matter. So that's my job, and it looked even in the discussions that you had with North Coast that you understood how the proceedings are to move forward, and you understand my role as the judge in this case. So all I say to you is to the left and right of you, you have two very competent, well-respected lawyers here in Cuyahoga County and the state of Ohio. So please speak to them and they'll advise you accordingly. I'm going to set a trial date. I know my bailiff had an opportunity to speak to the lawyers in their calendar, knowing that for me it's a move forward today. So just as I would in any case, the Supreme Court would tell me I have 6 months at the most. What I like to do is set this for July 14th for trial, and I think that met with all of your calendars. So Ms. Ellis will set a July 14th trial date of this case. So if it isn't resolved in some other manner, you'll know that you'll move forward with picking a jury. I also have a final pretrial, and that's set for, I believe, June 18th. And I think looking at your calendars, it might be around noon that we'll set the final pretrial. And Ms. Ellis, at that final pretrial, we talk about the trial and how we'll move forward with the trial. And if there's an opportunity to resolve the case, we'll talk about those things as well. So moving forward, I'll just ask the state, I know there was discovery to be provided, reports, autopsy reports and things of that sort that I think were put on hold while this matter was pending with North Coast. And is it the state's position that those that are going to be turned over or soon to be turned over or in the process of being turned over? I'll just hear from you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, we have a continuing duty to turn over all discovery. And at this point in time, I believe most of our discovery has been turned over, but I do have to review. I do believe that the autopsy photographs and toxicology and protocols have been obtained by my office, and I will be sending them over if I already haven't sent them over, but the docket needs to be reviewed in that particular score. And anything else I should have from either law enforcement or any other agency that has done work on this case, any reports will be turned over to the defense.
Very good, thank you. And then Mr. Mack, Mr. Johnson, I know there are some things that have been turned over. All I ask is once you have that process started by the state, if there's any concerns that either of you have regarding that discovery or opening that discovery or concerns that you want to address with me, please notify the court and we'll make sure we do that.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. And then, Ms. Ellis, you'll see that my bailiff will set future hearings. And it's not that I don't want you to be present here in the courtroom, but they usually don't necessitate a hearing in the courtroom. So for me, I always like to set 7 days, 10 days, 2 weeks for the lawyers to be talking about the case, and I'm aware of the fact that they're talking. And you'll see on the docket, it might just say attorney conference or attorney pretrial. I will not bring you up unless your lawyers ask me to bring you up. And of course, if there's a motion or something of that sort, I always bring the individual up so that we have an opportunity to talk with you present. So do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, very good. And then I would just say, lastly for counsel, there are times that on my floor that on Fridays there may be opportunities to visit with your client here on the floor. And that's really run through the deputy's approval and my bailiff. So if there's that opportunity and you feel that's sometimes viewing things or using computers makes it easier to do it here as opposed to in the county jail. So if you do need a visit, please don't hesitate to ask my bailiff and she will work through that with the deputies.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. Anything further from the state?
No, Your Honor, the only thing is Mr. Mack did make me aware that the discovery was the autopsy and all those documents that I stated before have been turned over. So I will just do a clean review of the file at this time.
Very good, thank you. Anything further on behalf of myself?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, all right, very good. Thanks, everybody. We'll adjourn.
Thank you, Your Honor.